Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Gamehater, the show where we burn through our backlogs and convince ourselves we were justified in ignoring these games all along. I'm Steve, Aaron's with me.
Good evening, everyone.
So tonight's game is Hand of Fate.
It's the hand that fate dealt us.
Fate did not deign to give this game any background art. Kind of
Well, I mean, you get a title like that, you don't need art like that. It just says everything just looking at it.
I suppose it does. I'm a little distraught personally because normally we spend a few minutes making fun of the title screen. And
Well, I mean, we'll just have to find something else to make fun of.
Giving us nothing to work with.
One more for the game. Come, sit. You have passed the 13 gates.
Man, subtitle guy is way ahead of the speaker.
Come to my table to play the game of life.
Yeah, I felt like I was moving a little bit too fast.
Yeah, he's like a whole line ahead.
Your stake is wagered. I refuse none who come here. Yet, I say.
It's pretty elaborate for a card game.
Yeah, very mystic. It's almost as if the cards are holding our fate.
I knew you would not falter.
Back so soon, we never went anywhere.
I know, right? Like we've been here the entire time.
Right? We literally just got here. Alright, we get it. You're a telekinetic.
Okay, I think we're still part of the title screen.
Alright, well, let's start playing then.
The game begins. One lives and one dies. Let us see what you are made.
Okay, well,
Those are high stakes. Do we really need to play this game?
yeah, I know. Can't we just play something that's a little less, worrisome? Like maybe just
Here is the first member
go fish.
of my court. The Jack
I mean,
of
I top out at strip poker.
12 in all must fall before you may challenge me.
How am I supposed to read this while you're jibber-jabbering at me? Alright, Jack of Dust. The bandit leader is stronger and faster than most bandits encountered. He can become enraged, making powerful, unblockable attacks. He also inspires his followers to steal gold on each hit. And some flavor text that I will not read to you.
Okay.
You want to read flavor text, you can play the game yourself, viewers at home.
I like how they don't want to animate him actually doing the cards. That'd be too much. They just have this magic on them.
Let the
Right.
cards fall
Make him
where they
magic
may.
and you can save a lot of money.
We begin.
Okay. So I'm choosing my next card, which is this one. That's my choice. My only choice. Ah, the maiden.
Oh, the maiden. What a hottie.
Surprised to find
Finally.
this encounter remains vivid in your memories.
Although the fact she has a unicorn head attached to the front of her, it's kind of a turnoff.
Yeah, I'm not that into unicorns, personally. Maiden's fine. Alright, one day in a shady forest, you encounter an elf maiden. She stops to greet you.
I am Marit of the forest folk. My people have long helped the mortals of this realm. What boon would you ask of me?
Let's go for... Is this one of those ogre battle things where I'm choosing my class based on cryptic questions?
I don't know. Either that or we're in a really weird D&D type game.
Yeah. Alright, well let's think this through. Longer life is cool. Supplies are cool. But do I need the supplies to live a longer life?
Well, I mean, think about it. Supplies and gold are usually two things that go hand in hand, so you get
Right.
one, you get the other. Longer life, though, like getting a health bar expansion is usually harder to get than those two things.
That's a good point, yeah. Yeah, in game terms, I'm with you. Unless it ends up being like a health potion.
As you wish. Marith muttered her and waves her hands. A light shines from your skin. The healer draws you one max health gain card.
Sweet. They're just gonna throw us right in without letting us
A
know
little
why
extra
we care.
help, but it is only a moment.
Oh, so it's only temporary.
Yeah. So it looks like we're in some kind of deck building situation.
Although it makes it sound like our max health is better, so
Yeah.
I guess it's a max increase and a potion.
Yeah, maybe so. I'm a little confused. Okay, so food and gold are there too. Alright. Many enchanted weapons have powerful abilities. They can turn the tide of battle, but only if their wielder remembers to use them. Farewell, mortal.
I like to imagine this dealer the entire time making funny voices for all them.
That would be fantastic. Mr.
I was never
Lionel.
a fan of illusion.
He looks like a friendly guy.
Yeah, love this guy.
Here, I'll make an exception.
Whilst enjoying your evening meal at the local tavern, a strange old man takes a seat next to yours. He traps your shoulder quite painfully with his wooden staff to get your attention, and you notice that he appears to be a goblin, poorly disguised as a human. His wizened face grins at you with a hint of madness. My name is Mr. Lionel. If you give me what I need, boy, I'll conjure up your heart's desire with this wizarding wand of my own creation.
I never touch a stranger's wizarding wand. This is a general rule.
He cackles uncontrollably for a few moments, then sits patiently waiting for your answer. So we don't have gold to give him.
Yeah, we don't have the gold. So last time we played to choose your own adventure, we went totally selfish and cowardly.
Right?
So let's just be nice this time.
Okay. He considers the bread seriously before carefully placing it in his coat pocket, seemingly satisfied.
And this font is not doing our ability to read any favors.
No, not really. So we lost some food then.
Not that much.
Mr. Lionel taps his staff on the ground and a shield materializes at your feet. There you go, old bean. He smiles a warm grin that reveals all his chipped and yellow teeth. Your face reminds me of my son. I haven't met you before, have I?
What an insult.
Yeah, I know, right? Look at him and like, I do not want to be related to you.
Alright, so we have here Q reflects projectiles. That sounds important to know. Okay, counter with Q.
You can now reflect your opponent's ranged attacks.
Then, before you can
into
stop
your
him,
shield.
with inhuman
Make
speed, he
use
snatches a
of
pickled
skills
onion off your plate and
exercise.
sprints out of the cavern door.
Oh, Mr. Lionel. What
I'm
a
surprised they didn't make
scam.
us lose another piece of food.
Right. Oh, we did. Right there.
Bound once more,
Uh,
seeking the heart of it all.
Yeah.
you have discovered the exit to this area.
Yep. Once
Can you
again,
still go grab another card, or
I guess we turn back, but we'll probably
it'd
get
probably
the
be
card
another
anyway.
exit?
Yeah, it's probably a false choice.
Your journey is well begun.
Oh no, new set of
This
cards.
is what I was looking for. You show some aptitude.
Yeah, we're so good at this game, randomly picking choices and
Perhaps this
such.
will not be as
Right.
boring as I thought.
No, don't speak too soon. This is Gamehater.
I still feel like we're just like a normal guy, and this is just like our coworker who's like been insisting we come to his house and play a game with him, and we're just like bewildered by all of this.
Why are you making those voices?
In a shady grove off the beaten trail, you find a traveling merchant looking to trade with wandering adventures. General Shop offers a range of items and healing, but at prices a little higher than usual.
Well, we are an adventurous fool this time. By the way, it looks like every time we flip a card, we lose a food.
We do have some gold. We got 10. Approach the shop. Greetings, wise traveler. I have much to offer you.
If you were wondering
What's
why
happening?
you've been collecting all that gold, you
But we
now
haven't
have
collected
your
any
answer.
gold.
We're starting to get into the meat of the game now. The back and forth between resources
What?
and
Now we're playing a
rewards.
card game within a card game? Okay, well, we're good on wounds. So let's buy items that we can't afford.
The most fundamental symbol
The
of
sword is only
might
$10. We
for
can
a
afford it.
village.
Let's see what else we got. Oh, I bought it by accident. Problem solved.
Okay.
I was trying to see if the axe would be cheaper, but
Then down there it says you can equip it. Say
Yeah.
yes.
A moment to savor. That will make you much
Oh
more
man, the axe was $10 too. What a fool we've been.
man.
When you can pick an axe, you always go with an axe over a
Oh
sword.
yeah, clearly. That's the only option. Okay, so it looks like I could have cycled between cards with the arrow keys. Future reference. And now we're
Okay.
done here. And that's on the gold.
I'm glad they created an entire screen for this.
Mm-hmm. Very thick menu systems to use a shop. Oh, no.
What
Ambush!
did you think would happen with a card called Ambush?
Well, we didn't know there was gonna be a
Yeah,
card with
come
an
on.
ambush, Kyle.
Why? I don't think we didn't notice that you turned our boss into Mr. Lionel.
A slight rustling behind you is all the warning you get that your life is in grave danger. Draw 1 monster card.
3 of
Oh,
dust.
it's a 3 of dust.
So are we fighting dust mites? Do we go
don't
back to the
know.
shop and buy a vacuum cleaner? So now I'm Adventure Man.
I guess. Are you actually like actually get to fight as him? Oh.
Maybe.
I thought it was just gonna be like, you know, it just shows the animations of you fighting based on your card, but I guess.
No, they put a real game into this,
Wow, that's kind of amazing.
and it's
Good on you, Kyle.
it's the Arkham style combat.
That's not terrible.
No. So one thing that's kind of frustrating is I'm just kind of pointing in a general direction and spamming my attack. Can't
Right.
really aim or focus on a particular enemy.
Yeah, I imagine they didn't make it that deep of a combat
No.
system.
Way deeper than I expected, though.
While searching the area for anything worth salvaging, you realize that one of your opponents is only pretending to be dead.
Take him down. Suck it. Wait. Wait.
Choose from these options.
Wait.
Oh, what?
Not cool.
A quick weapon blow to the head fixes that. You finish searching the area. The dealer draws you 3 gain cards. Oh, cool. We're gonna get some crap.
Ooh. One
I'm sure
equipment.
you're
Equipment.
grateful for that.
Another shield.
Oh, another shield. We can sell that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I need to equip an identical shield on top of my shield, so...
Really? Is that what you're
What if
going
you
to
stack
do?
the shields?
Why is Kyle making fun of us about this?
What did he say?
He's like mocking me for not equipping the shields. Like, are you sure about that?
Oh, I got some gold. Cool.
Sweet, we can buy that axe.
A winding trail.
Hardly fair, is it?
No one said anything about an ambush on this card.
Suddenly, a tree falls across your path, blocking the way ahead. The dealer draws you 1 monster card. Why should we get a monster for that?
Yeah, come on.
Weapons bristle from the trees around you, their wielders' faces obscured by the undergrowth. Give us all your gold, or die!
I'm not handing over my gold. Yeah, shot and battle cry. Spoon.
It'd be nice if you could make up your own custom battle cry that'll show up in there.
What did we use in Chroma Squad?
I don't remember.
We had the battle cry for that one. I don't remember either. Man, it takes
But yeah, that was really fun.
forever for it to
You
get
get them
going.
in there. Yeah, the one downside of this game, switching between styles, that you have to deal with the still loading
Yeah,
screens.
incredibly long transitions. Yeah, you're probably right. They're hiding loading screens.
It just feels so weird they put like this, you know, pretty nice looking game that, you know, I'm assuming plays pretty decently, not great, but decently.
Yeah, I mean it's passable.
And they put it in a card game.
Right. Yeah, I'm trying to wrap my head around why they're doing the things they're doing. I'm coming up blank.
You search the bodies for loot.
Come on.
I cannot expect you to get by without some protection.
Look, Kyle, this is our third shield. No, I'm not.
I was like,
equipping
I keep giving you these shields, why won't you use them?
it. It's like the really tyrannical DM who just doesn't understand why you're not taking his hints. Like, fine, I'll give you another
You
shield.
reached my first champion.
Uh-oh,
Boss
it's
fight.
a Jack of Dust.
Good thing I have 3 shields.
Child, and kin.
I mean, you use them as the projectiles, I guess.
Lion, I forge my tools.
You know, Captain America can throw his shield, but it always comes back to him. You can't do that, so you can just
I can't do
throw
that.
one shield after another.
Like the
This
boomerang in
token
Breath of
will
the
unlock
Wild.
more cards
If you
can defeat
are half as
this
good as me.
encounter.
Yeah, well, the boomerangs, I never actually used them as boomerangs in that game. I couldn't wait for them to come back. I just, like, if I threw them, I just assumed I was never going to use them again.
Right, maybe I'll pick them up later.
Oh, look at this dude.
Well, he gets an incredibly long transition too.
Some enemy attacks.
Oh, you got to fight his mooks too.
Man, no honor with this guy. Just because his whole family's dead, he thinks he can flaunt the rules of combat. One at a time, fellas. Oh, unblockable, unblockable.
Don't you know you just gotta keep attacking and rolling? It's jump, it's attack and roll, attack and roll. It's like a platformer, but you roll instead of jump.
Yeah, basically. Oh no, now he's got like some kind of rage mode.
So was this game not playable with the gamepad?
You know, I didn't. I checked real quick before the episode, and people complained a lot about bad gamepad implementation.
Okay.
So I didn't bother.
That's kind of silly that, you know, a game like this wouldn't use a gamepad. Like, at first glance, looking at it, where it was just, you know, a card game, like, sure, but...
Yeah, I mean, I would hope that it plays just as well with a gamepad. I mean, you can click through menus just as well, and the combat would probably be a little more pleasurable.
Perhaps there is peace for him in the grave, poor soul.
So we have this little folio of dead bosses.
Really, Kyle? That's kind of weird.
You will face 11 more opponents who will test your strength, your memories, and your resolve.
11 more? Kyle, I'm just here for the afternoon.
You said we were gonna drink some beers and play Mario Kart, and suddenly we're in this hellish card game.
Yet I will also claim mine. As you improve, so do I.
You know, Kyle, this might be why you don't have a girlfriend. I mean, just tossing that out there, but this feels like, you know, why you don't have a girlfriend to me.
He invites a girl over to Netflix and chill. She walks in the door. Now, pick a card. Do you favor gold or power?
It's like, oh, you know what? I just remembered my mom was expecting me. Oh, I got a peasant.
I got a peasant.
How many do we get to pick? Oh, all of them, I guess.
I think I'm all captain of guards. So maybe I get a minion? I don't know. I don't know what these do. What did I just click? Did I take away all my cards?
I don't know.
Ooh, armor. The Chains of Rage. Mercenary contact, another armor. I should equip both. He's being really generous with the armor, and I should respect that.
I can't imagine that we'd actually get all this stuff. This feels like too much for beating one boss.
Yeah, I think... Well, I mean, Kyle wants us to hang around, so he's being really generous up front.
True, true.
Shall we deal again?
Okay.
So I wonder if it's not so much that these are cards that we're getting, but more cards are being added to the deck to deal with.
That must be the case.
Return to his beginning items. Our decks are reset. Welcome to the cabinet, home of the
Do you have to
members of my
put
court.
the subtitles right in front of the actual menu?
Yeah, that's a little inconvenient. Alright, so we'll story mode. My next opponent shall be the Jack of Skulls. Why are they all named Jack? This is very confusing.
Maybe it's
Time
going to
for you
progress
to
from
face
Jack to
my
Queen to
undead
King.
army.
Yeah, maybe.
Meet
That
the
would
Jack
that
of
would
Skulls.
make sense. Alright, so I can do a deck.
Well, there's 12, and there's basically 3 royals and the ace, so it makes sense if we're to do 4 jacks, 4 queens, 4 kings, and 4 aces.
Yeah, I can buy that. So armor. Oh, this is my deck. What's going on? Okay, so I'm controlling. So going back to the original question of, you know, why the hell are they using card mechanics? And I imagine it's because card mechanics often get thrown around when you want the player to have control over probabilities.
Mm-hmm.
So they're working in deck building mechanics. So I can say, like, these are the things I want to encounter in the game and play with probabilities.
That makes sense. And you know, it's also kind of interesting way of giving the characters sort of like a randomized story kind of situation.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a little bit easier to manage than you would in an actual full-fledged adventure style game where you had to create NPCs for everything. It's just creating sort of generic encounters that you can start sticking anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Right. You can. Yeah. You can do something more akin to procedurally generated content that way.
I will add my own cards to the deck. How boring life would be without a little spice.
So I just did the automated deck building, which I'm sure I'm missing out on some strategy and thought.
Well, you gotta understand the game a little bit more before you can even figure out what kind of strategy you want to use.
Yeah, I would agree.
Oh, it's a river.
Protects against many things.
Your path is blocked by a river. The water is clear but fast flowing. Oh, I know how to do this one. Cock the wagon and float it.
Yes, that is the one. And then while you're going,
Wait, how do you have a huge success crossing the river?
Oh,
whoa! No! The water carries away a few of your provisions.
Man. And
you get a pain card.
3 gold.
Oh no! Wait, that's all we lost is some 3 coins? That's not terrible.
Yeah, we only had 10. Oh, here again.
Given how rarely one encounters.
One day in a shady forest, you encounter an elf maiden. She stops to greet you.
Or perhaps we are merely cycling around the wheel and dipping into the same memories time and time again.
Dude, I've got like 10 cards in my deck.
Okay, Kyle, explain it away to us. I am Marith of the Forest Folk. My people have long helped the mortals of this realm. What boon would you ask of me?
Let's get some gold this time.
Marith seemed surprised. Oh, it is unlike an adventurer to beg for coins.
Has she met
but
an adventurer?
very well, if that is your wish.
Look at all that gold. I can buy
Nice.
7 shields.
Remember, mortal, that bold heroes make for great ballad, but survivors think twice before meddling in the affairs of gods and monsters. I do not like her anymore.
Yeah, she's getting a little stuck up.
If you dare.
Yep, take the stairs.
Are you sure we don't need to draw out a success card for going down the stairs?
This far.
See if I can trip and fall on my face while fumbling for a light
Know
switch.
you have what it takes to do better
He's like,
than they
oh,
did.
plenty have made it this far and got farther. Maybe like 3 hours farther, because you're not doing anything later, right?
I always thought it was best to avoid the problems of others. I see you have no such concerns. There's
You
a
told
token
me
in
we were going to
for
watch
if
the
you
game
win.
tonight, not play
You
this
hear
game.
a shout from up ahead and the sounds of a battle. Racing forward, you discover a warrior surrounded by undead.
Hmm.
Is he the undead guy in the picture?
I hope not.
Broken bones litter the area around the man, but there are still more chasing in on him, and he appears to be badly injured. Stranger! He calls out as he throws his weapon to you. Yeah, take my mace and put an end to these monstrosities.
Hey, free mace.
Nice.
It's a lump of iron on a stick. Not terribly subtle.
So I guess it has a special effect on the undead then.
Oh yeah, maces are well established for murdering the crap out of undead. Pretty much every game system is that way. Yeah, I don't want this rusty axe if I can have a holy mace. Be gone, rusty axe.
Oh, time to do battle against the skeletons.
Oh, I see. It's laying down all the cards for my stats.
Right.
When it summons me. That's tedious. Alright, remember I do not have a shield. It's gonna be a
Wait,
lot
so
more
the
rolling.
captain of the guard couldn't handle this?
Oh, have you seen what this camera's doing to me?
Maybe the captain of the guard just got exhausted waiting for the loading.
Right. He like couldn't figure out where the monsters were because the camera kept spinning around on him.
Oh, good work putting them to rest. Keep the mace. We have enough back at Kadir, he says, slowly standing. We've been hearing reports of a dead in our kingdom recently, and I came to investigate. He stops to look around at all the bone fragments. More of them here than I suspected, too. Some new whore must have decided to settle in these parts and brought its minions.
2 minions. Just to
I
clarify.
must head back to the capital and report this to the Duke. Watch your step, friend. There is something more powerful at work than just these skeletons.
There were 2 skeletons. They're gone now.
The token is yours. Well done.
What are these tokens for?
I don't know. You get to spend them on favors from Kyle.
These are Kyle tokens. If you ever need someone to talk to, or a firm hug, or a reassuring handshake, cash in a token.
We don't need more shields.
Yeah, we don't need to read this again.
Okay.
It's him. Yeah.
He doesn't even remember us. I don't like this guy.
No.
We could ask him what he needs this time.
That was. I was going fast track to shield, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll be back.
Kyle's like, oh my god, I had so many other cool options for this one.
Shield Kyle.
Kyle's just like, why do they always do that to me?
You're ruining game night.
No, Kyle, you ruined it before I even got here. In a shady grove off the beaten path, you find a traveling merchant looking to trade with the wandering adventurers. Mages sell only specific items that they discovered in faraway lands. Their prices can be high, but they also pay well for anything that catches their interest.
We're doing it. We got all the gold.
They might not sell anything we want, but at least unload all his extra weapons.
Well, I hope
shields.
there's magic. Well, I don't know if I still have the shields. I might have deleted my inventory.
Well, you guys got that extra. Oh,
Oh.
true.
Yeah. I just get a shield, but I didn't have it before. Let's see. Yeah, that's all I have.
Oh man, brutal.
Yeah, so every cycle's complete reset.
This would be really useful if we run into a lizardman.
Yeah. Dragon relics are equipped. 59. How many dragon relics are there? 2 to attack faster. I don't want combos. Alright, this seems good. I'm on board with this one.
Yeah. And besides, it looks very fashionable. Gonna be quite the hit with the ladies.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a good plunder head. Looks kind of like a bear head.
Choose your fate.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
If, the bear was deformed.
He's sassing me about my choice. I don't think I need food.
Like, wow, I give you all these cool magic items that I spent all week trying to figure out, and then you're just like, ooh, I'm gonna grab the hat.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the one that lets me pick what happens to me. That was a lot of money for one food.
Maybe if we just didn't eat so much, but...
Well, it's not like Kyle put any snacks out.
I know, right? He's like got all this table space, so much room for everything, and he's like, oh, sorry, I thought you were gonna bring food.
I'm sorry, I used all my bowls to hold the tokens.
Alright, another ambush.
There's like one monster card in the deck.
I guess it's nice that he's only putting the low cards for us. He's not like, throwing out the, 10 dust.
Yeah, one would hope they get worse as the game goes on.
They really put a lot of work into making a lot of different areas for you to fight in.
Yeah, they're all reskinned, plain circular arenas too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they could have very easily just kept using the same arena over and over and over.
They could have. The occasional backdrop or occasional change of backdrop is commendable.
Yeah.
It would be better if the arenas had something more complex to them, like defensive structures or what have you.
Why don't we ever just kill all of them at once?
Yeah,
and why
I'm
can't we
pretty
have a
sure.
huge success for this?
Pretty sure I killed them all, and I can't tell if I actually have the information I need to track a card.
If you have what?
If I could actually track which card was the failure and where I ended up.
I feel like it's just a dice roll, basically.
Might be. Where's my magic
Shield
card?
for the marathon, not the sprint.
Every third encounter does not include food. That seems
Oh, so basically it's sort of like extra food,
good.
kind of.
I can shield bash. I do remember that I have that option.
Are you
Okay,
sure
cool.
that's the right approach?
Look.
Wait, why would you go
I'm
for
sure
the
you're
3 food instead of the 5 food?
I don't know. I'm just clicking things. I was expecting I'd get both of them, but I guess that's my magic hat talking.
You found the stairs.
Our foe.
All right, so let's make this the next one will be the last card, I guess, since
Okay.
we're running low on time.
Good. Now all you need to do is find and kill the Jack of Skulls, and we can progress.
Oh, actually, we're almost Devil's Choice.
Win
The
this
Devil's
and
Choice.
claim my token.
A cloaked devil appears in your path.
I'm here to test your might, so-called hero.
Choose your
Yeah.
foe. Oh,
that's-
gee, let's go for the 3 dust.
What about the skulls?
Let's do that one. That looks kind of ominous.
Yeah.
More
Oh, there's gonna be skeletons,
for
aren't
you
they?
to deal with.
Oh, that would make sense. Bandits versus skeletons. That's good. I have the mace that helps me fight skeletons.
Yeah, so this is a good strategic choice.
Yeah. Yeah, well done, us.
And we even have a shield now, too.
I did not
All the
realize you were
options are
such a
open.
fearsome adversary.
So I like to imagine that Kyle, has all these cards set up, but he also just has like this random video game on the side. He's like, okay, let's go over here now.
Right, it's like some custom fighting game that he designed himself. And he's not very good at.
Excellent!
The devil cries.
You have passed my cunning test. You have some treasure. Perhaps next time our paths cross, I will kill you myself.
Okay, cool, devil.
Alright, I'll get the proper amount of food this time.
One of my cards. A small bet.
They're all your cards, Kyle.
I will not be so graceful for long.
Kyle, you're not being graceful at all. You have been
Excellent
wasting
way to
so much
turn
of our time.
injury into an asset.
Cooldowns. I didn't even know I had cooldowns. Yeah, this seems maybe better. It's medium.
Armor protects you from damage.
Thank you, Kyle.
Best armor, of course, does so much more.
Oh,
15%
I think the-
wins by a factor of 3.
yeah. If that's indeed what it does.
Yeah. No,
It did.
the math worked out. Okay. Well, we can start wrapping up here. Maybe I'll play while we talk, but we'll call this the final rating.
Okay. So, I mean, my thoughts on it was, I don't really have anything I can say I can complain about. I mean, there were some slow loading times and, just having to go the awkward transition between this and the finals and this whole shop thing is, it's kind of awkward. It's not as smooth as it could
is.
be. And that's because, they're running, an actual game behind another game as opposed to, something that you can simply switch back and forth to. So you sort of have to pay for that convenience, but
Yeah. I imagine you're right that these are hidden load times, but they certainly present themselves as
If it were not
overly
for
ornate
these,
sequences.
Then who would play at this game?
yeah, and I feel like I would rather just have it, load and not. If there for some kind of shortcut that didn't involve all this ornate stuff, I would just rather have that.
So they did
yeah,
it
like,
twice. So
I
I
just-
imagine
I-
we can follow it.
I just don't really know what I can complain about this game for because it does play pretty decently. The battle system, while not necessarily as complex as you'd want from an Arkham style of game,
Yep.
it's not necessarily the whole game. It's only part of a game.
Yeah, and with fusions like this, that's often what happens is they do like a mediocre job of two styles of gameplay. Often you'll get this with puzzle games where Henry Hatsworth comes to mind. where it was an action platformer kind of similar to a Mega Man X game with a matching puzzle game on top of it. And it was, pretty okay at both of them, but
to dealing with crowds.
not. It didn't excel at either. And that's what I'm kind of getting from this game. Is it's got two game interrelated gameplay systems. Neither of them is great. Like, for example, these card maps, I have very few choices, and any choice I have is really a false choice because I'm picking one random card over another.
Right,
And-
at which point the game just be giving those to you. It didn't really
Yeah,
do much for you.
right. I'm not in control.
I mean, this is basically just doing battles that where you might get a reward for it, and is a reward worth what the effort you're putting into it?
Right. So I mean, I'm off by a row of keys. What am I doing? Okay. And that's another hazard, right? Is I move my finger and I screw something up, but that's on me.
Yeah, well, I mean, this would work a lot better if it did have proper gamepad support, which, we didn't try that ourselves. We're just going
No.
off of hearsay on the internet.
Yeah, those were forum posts from 2 years ago.
Yeah, so you would hope they would have that fixed by now.
Yeah.
If they bothered to update it, you never know. If they just, release a game and then decide not to update it. To me, that's a common thing, too.
Yeah, it could have been early access back then, for all we know. So yeah, that's my main complaint. Is it's it's trying to do two things at once, and it's not graded either. The deck building aspect, I imagine, is something that gets deeper and deeper the further you go into the game.
Yeah.
So I think we didn't get far enough to properly judge that. Okay, good. Jack and Skulls is. And I'm sorry, I'm rushing
I
through
could
this
definitely
interview.
see, like, there is a lot of potential to this game, and if it opens up, it could be pretty intriguing and interesting to play through. I wish maybe we didn't have to, like, stare at Kyle this entire time, like,
Right.
a different deal that would make it more fun.
Yeah. I wish I knew what these tokens did too.
And also, like, we ran into, like, so many cards that we'd already run into already, like, within the second round, so the
Yeah.
game sort of, lampshades that it as being sort of like a funny coincidence, but it sort of shows that maybe there's not as much depth as we were hoping for.
Yeah, and especially with all this text and dialogue and all these choices, it's a bit of a problem for the game because you're going to be repeating these exact same scenarios over and over again throughout the game until, like, maybe you take Mr. Lionel out of your deck. But why would you want to? Because he gives a free shield when you see him, and that seems like a good thing. Unless
Yeah.
you get a guy who gives you a better free shield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's sort of interesting to be able to control, what NPCs might show up in your deck.
Yeah. And yeah, that's nice. I mean, you're not really customize your character, but you can customize what skills and ability your character eventually has access to.
Yeah, and that's really an interesting way to, to set up a
What's
game. Very
Yeah,
different
yeah.
than, what you're used to. Where it's all about, just building up your character. Instead of building up your character, you're building up the scenario the character goes into.
Right. So you end up having a fair deal of control over things.
Yeah.
That was apparently a boss fight. I think I killed him.
Nice job.
Ah, well
All right, well, my
done,
final
well
thoughts
done
are then,
indeed.
I
But you have
think
ground
it's,
to
a
defend
pretty
and
decent
justice,
game. I wouldn't say
and even
it's
I
the
cannot
best at
say
what it's
will
doing,
become of it.
as far as like the two
Now
individual
our
parts, the
waiting
card game
becomes more
and
Yeah.
the action game. But
Will
put
the
together, I
tools
think
you
you have like an
devise
interesting
suffice
mixture
to
there,
trust
and
the
I
challenges
definitely think
I
there's more
pose?
to unfold in the game.
That is the question. Is it not?
Yeah, I agree. I'm not convinced that we were able to play this long enough to really judge it, because all I can see right now is that there is interesting potential for this game when you get deeper into it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing when the first half hour or so of a game convinces you that good things are coming.
And that's
Well,
sort of the point of what we're looking for when we do this. is
Absolutely,
We're looking to see
right.
what the first impression is, and this is giving us an impression that it's a deeper game than first glance.
Mhm. But that's offset a little bit by knowing how repetitive and perhaps grindy this is going to be.
Exactly. And that depends on whether you like that kind of experience or not. Because
Right.
I know there are people who do
Mhm.
enjoy just having something like that, just to sort of sink their teeth into. I enjoy some games like that myself. So
Right. So, I mean, all I can really say, and I guess I'll call this my final rating, is I see the potential. I see that there's probably people who would really enjoy this game, and I'm completely on the fence. I would want to play more before I really decide.
yeah, I guess my final conclusion is that, it looks kind of interesting, but damn it, Kyle, couldn't you have told me what we were getting into before I came over?
Yeah. None of these guys tell us before, largely because we don't read their emails. We just come to their house. That's the whole point of this show. So that was Gamehater reviewing Hand of Fate. There are worse things you can do with your life than hang out with Kyle. And
Not many.
not not many. I can think of about 50 worse ways. So there we go. We hate this game, and we're going to bed. Good night.
Good night.